Hey everyone, welcome back to another Roman Reacts. We are here today to watch another video. This one is from Russian Badger, so we're kind of getting back into doing some Russian Badger videos. This one we're going to be having fun for today, and then hopefully I plan on doing some more Russian Badger videos on the weekends to catch up and have some fun with that as well. And yeah, just give you a little update on those little bits and bobs, and not get distracted with other things. So yeah, we're going to be doing that right now and having some fun. And yeah, let's just dive on in, shall we? All right, that's set up and it's all good. So yeah, we're all set. So Jurassic Park with Elves, Total War, Warhammer 2. And I am a big fan of Total War and just want to get his take on it. So no doubt he's going to have some fun things. No doubt his friends are not going to be in it unless he was playing multiplayer, because this game is mostly single players or team battle ones, if you will. Or there's some multiplayer stuff, but a lot of people like to do single player. But anyway, not for me ranting. Let's have fun, shall we? 3, 2, 1. I might have to.
Is that the best you can do?
Real-time strategy games are boring. This is boring. You're boring.
What if I threw in a dinosaur?
Wow, really? One whole dinosaur.
What about a dinosaur riding another dinosaur?
Better, but that's still just 2 dinosaurs.
What about 20 dinosaurs?
Okay, I'm a little...
What about 40 dinosaurs?
Can you slow down a little?
What about 40 dinosaurs fighting 40 other dinosaurs? Okay, yeah, I get it. What do you want? So when Sega asked me to partner up with them to play one of their games, I was like, hell yeah, I'll play Sonic. I'm so good at fasting, I make even Gandhi look like a gluttonous casual. Then they said,
we don't want you to fast. We want you to play Total War Warhammer 2, a turn-based real-time strategy.
Oh, I'm gonna have to stop you at strategy. I don't really do that. The only reason that I'm good at games is because I purely function off of my reptilian brain and have the reflexes of a mongoose. And they said,
okay, that's fine. There are even reptiles in the game, so play through it and let us know what you think.
So here's what happened. The whole game is about this giant blue vortex that I'm just gonna call the whirly-durly for practical purposes that everyone wants to get their hands, claws, and or paws on because it's unthinkably powerful. Or they all just want it because everybody else wants it. So much so that they're all willing to curb stomp each other into a genocide to get it. And there's 4 contestants in the ring. Let's get ready to rumble! You got the high elves, the dinosaurs, I mean the lizard men, the dark elves, and the bad rats. I mean the skater. Whatever. The high elves are called that for a reason, because you would have to be high to choose them as your race. The types of people that choose high elves are the same people that eat only vanilla ice cream, go to bed on time every night, and eject their USB drives before pulling them out. So if you end up selecting them, please uninstall the game for picking the most boring faction imaginable. Lizard men? Totally top tier here. Fighting against these guys is like fighting against gravity. The more you try to resist, the harder it's going to hurt. And you better believe it's going to hurt. Alright, I blew it all in the T-Rexes, so if they don't pull their weight, I'm totally boned. Oh man! Oh man! Imagine being one of these elf guards that trains their entire lives trying to be the very best soldier that they can, then the enemy just ends up bringing 2 T-Rexes. Not that giant alligators with sledgehammers is any more pleasant, but whatever. On top of that, it lets you turn the whole game into Total War Jurassic Park featuring elves with a rat problem. The only difficult part is whether you want to choose Mazda Mundi or Krokgar to lead your troops. Mazda Mundi is basically the rarest of all Pepes that not only has tremendous utility, but he also has the ability to move, so it's hard to go wrong with this guy. Krokgar is also an excellent choice because the only thing scarier than a dinosaur is a dinosaur riding another dinosaur. He can slice through enemies like he was born with a silver Miyabi knife in his mouth. In case reptiles aren't your thing, the Dark Elves aren't terrible, but I wasn't too sure about how Sega would feel about me choosing them.
Hey guys, welcome back to my Dark Elves Let's Play in Total War Warhammer 2, sponsored by Sega. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is maximize slavery.
Yeah, I'm definitely not condoning slavery, but in this fantasy world, it does make your economy outrageously robust, so it's something to consider. I guess that would also make your lord into much more of a tyrant than a leader, but Malekith is a pretty baller option, with the obvious side effect that you're commanding the biggest edgelord in the universe. It's almost like Creative Assembly said, what if we took the edgiest villain in the history of the lore, pushed him into a vat of razor blades, covered him in the strongest, darkest armor possible, and threw some pointy antlers on top for good measure.
And with
Basically
these
much.
ashes, my son, we have our revenge.
This bulletproof dialogue, she goes on and on, he's just, no. Seriously, this guy's so edgy, I'm not even sure he could spread jelly on toast without lacerating himself. The other option here is his mom, Marathi, and blowing past their weird, possibly incestuous relationship, she's basically the inverse. So instead of
maximum armor,
she's more like
minimum armor.
And finally, we have the Skaven, aka Bad Rats, aka our entire strategy is built on overwhelming you with sheer numbers that will either render your best laid plans useless or completely ruin your ability to command your troops because your graphics card is bursting into fiery tears. Why do you do this, Bad Rats? You know this tactic is unfair. There's so many of you. Cutting out the antics, these guys are amazing and come highly recommended if you're not a dinosaur person. Okay, so now that you know what you're fighting for, and you've met who is fighting, how do you win the fight? You win by completing 5 rituals where you connect with the vortex via a special beam. Just picture it like a bonfire. Now, in order to start this bonfire, you need fuel, which in the case of dinosaurs are plaques, which you can accumulate by gaining control of settlements, stealing them from enemies, or completing quests. So that's it then. Now all I have to do is curb stomp my enemies into oblivion, eat anything that remains, and enslave the survivors. How hard can that be? Well, let's pause for a second and think about this microcosm of a T-Rex. How do you afford to keep a T-Rex fighting for your cause? Money, but not just money. This is a T-Rex we're talking about here, and he costs hella bread. Economy. How are you gonna recruit a T-Rex in the first place? Technology. How is your T-Rex gonna know who he should slaughter and who he should not slaughter? Diplomacy. All these words ending in Y add up to the biggest word of them all. Strategy. Strategy is nothing but a series of decisions divided by turns that either shove you ahead of your enemies in the race to the whirly-dirly or make you fall behind. You know, I'm just spitballing here, but I'm pretty sure being on turn 144 and only having one ritual done is not very good. For example, you just crushed some dark elves. What do you want to do with their settlement? Okay, so I guess I can occupy, which means that I'm gonna crash there from now on after I murder everybody. I can loot and occupy, which means that I'm gonna enslave everybody, take all their money, damage their buildings, and crash there. I can sack, which is like all of that other stuff, but minus the crashing part, and I can raise, which is more or less just setting everything on fire because nothing survives. As you can imagine, a large percentage of the game is spent in this turn-based strategy mode, which, again, is fun to play if you're in the driver's seat, but is it fun to watch someone else do it?
No!
Like, are you really that interested in watching me micromanage every settlement and decision? Probably not. So because I don't want this video to be 60 hours long, here's the greatest strat known to mankind, which also happens to have an extremely low success rate, but if you want to roll the dice and claim victory with a glorious comeback, here's what you gotta do. First thing, diplomacy. Anytime that other leaders try to trade or become allies with you, reject them. No exceptions. Declined. Except when they offer you large sums of money if you promise not to kill them, with peace agreements and non-aggression pacts. In that case, take their money, then immediately exterminate them, then declare war on all their best friends. Simple as that. I even laughed if they offer allies at all in this game. Like, it's literally called Total War, not almost Total War, not total war except for a handful of nations that we have peace agreements with. Come on! I have a gift for you. Best not to refuse and repeat the tragedy of Macbeth. Did I not read the lore correctly? What is this tragedy of Macbeth all about? Did Malekith unsummon some McDonald's demon named Macbeth? Can you even unsummon a demon? Ooh, no, wait, pause. There's no way that's a coincidence. There's no way that there's a guy named Henry Dogburglar and there is not some kind of McDonald's lore connection. What is he, like the high elf equivalent of the Hamburglar? Second thing, rush T-Rex technology like your life depends on it. Throw caution to the wind and only spend money on things that get you closer to unlocking the deadliest creature in the history of the earth. Then once you do, start churning them out in mass quantities like a terrible mixtape. Now, I'm not saying that your army has to be 100% T-Rexes. It's totally acceptable to go with 95% T-Rexes and 5% regular infantry lizards because these giant creatures of death will eventually need a personal audience when slaying entire races, duh. And once you have your menacing stampede of giant dinosaurs, you adopt the bank robber mentality of always being on the move, stealing money and plaques from everybody, and terminating anybody that tries to stop you.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Just kidding. Your gate's gone. I don't need to knock anymore.
Just be careful about their primal instincts, because sometimes lizard units can get so filled with blood-boiling rage that they no longer obey your orders and you lose all control as they go on a murderous rampage. It's kind of like saying Jesus take the wheel, but with a giant carnosaur. You can run into problems if too many armies start attacking you at once and you're forced to fight battles in rapid succession over and over and over again, but don't worry if your troops aren't always full strength, because a T-Rex with half health is still a f***ing T-Rex. If you follow these guidelines correctly, you might just be able to gather enough plaques to finish your final ritual, blaze through the last battle, and claim the Vortex as your own personal whirly-durly. Or, you know, you'll get curb-stomped by Malekith in a crushing defeat and forced into Dark Elf slavery. Either way, it'll be a blast. And that's about it. I would like to thank you very much for watching. One final thank you to Sega for partnering with me on this video, even though it's not Sanic, and be sure to tune in next time when I ride through the desert on a horse with no name.
Also, the Dark Elf is pretty neato. If you can't handle the edginess, and we're talking something levels of edginess plus elves, Lamau. Okay, all right. Okay then. Yeah, Total War is something else for certain. You have to think, you have to be strategizing, you have to make sure you have a good economy, and you got to make certain that what risk will you be able to do in order to get the reward you want in the end. So it is very, very challenging. And because otherwise, if you don't pay attention, you're going to be feeling the pain. And it's going to be difficult for you. So yeah. Oh man, I played the original Total War 3, Warhammer 3, and I also played Total War Pharaoh currently. So just... I would like to go back to Total War 2 and see the difference in like how it played and whatnot. But yeah, that's just me though. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Russian Badger will be over here for you guys to sub. All my other stuff will be here for you to check out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit those notifications if you want to see more crazy content like myself. And I'll catch you all in the next one. So Romans, salute.